What's up, guys? This is Ray J back with another video. And in this, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. I'm going to break down some bad news that came out for Tesla and some good news and how this is affecting the share price. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so make sure you take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30, and the offering is very soon at the end of March. Anyways, the market started off with a big gap down, but we're seeing a big bounce right now. If you guys look at SPY, for example, we're getting bought back up. We're just a couple of points away from the high of yesterday, so we're doing a great job. But then we have Tesla, which saw a bigger dump this morning, all the way down to about that 265 area. But now there's buyers defending it as well, so that is some good news. We want to see if Tesla can try to reclaim this yellow trend line, get back above not only 270 but also like 275. I would like to see that. So far, we'll give this some time. It's a little bit weak compared to the market because of this news right here. Basically, there's news coming out that Baird analysts are saying that Wall Street's consensus estimate for Tesla's deliveries is 437,000, but they're expecting 369,400 deliveries. That's a 16% miss that they are expecting. They also dropped their price target to $370 per share from $440, saying that it's a bearish fresh pick. So they are saying that the short term is bearish, at least looking at delivery expectations, looking at what's happening with their sales and other issues. They also mentioned that there is going to be some production downtime associated with the Model Y refresh, which complicates the supply side of things in their opinions. That's what they're saying, at least for now. However, don't forget that they did maintain a bullish price targets for like the more long term, so keep that in mind. They also wanted to mention that they're going to be listening to see what happens with deliveries, especially because of the fact that that is going to be like a more short-term catalyst for them. They do believe that the long term will be better when it comes to robotics and AI development. They did talk about that, but their view is essentially the same. So they are leaning a little bit more bearish, at least for the short term, especially when you have numbers like this. But they still maintain a $370 price targets, and they do think Tesla will run later on. So, not the best of news considering they cut their price targets. So keep that in mind. However, the market is trying to bounce amidst some big news that came out. We have the U.S. Commerce Secretary Lutnick coming out, and he is saying that there could be more of these 1 month tariff exemptions beyond autos. He's saying it's very, very likely. So keep in mind that when Donald Trump increased tariffs on Canada and Mexico to 25% on Tuesday, Lutnick was saying that, hold on, guys, on Wednesday, Donald Trump is actually going to be giving us some relief from the tariffs. He did say that there should be a big announcement on Wednesday. As a result, he was correct that we did end up getting the auto exemptions. He was correct about that. Now he's saying that there's going to be even more of these exemptions. So that's some good news, at least thus far, right? That does not mean that the tariffs are going to go away. They're simply just going to be delayed to a larger extent. So he is saying that there's going to be more of these exemptions, and that's good for the markets. That's why the market is starting to look more optimistic so far. Besides that, we already went over this yesterday about how the U.S. tariffs are essentially going to be a little bit deferred, at least temporarily, for particular products, especially the ones that qualify for the USMCA. So keep that in mind. Anyways, besides that, let's talk about the charts right now. So as far as Tesla's going, we're looking for a potential double bottom that could be forming. What I find interesting is when you look at the 4-hour time frame, we have this yellow trend line acting as support, and we're going to be watching to see if this holds. Now, what I do like about this is the fact that we are forming kind of like a double bottom, and the fact that we're trying to make a higher low, which is a relatively good sign. Now, in order for us to balance, you want to see us get back above this like imbalance over here, this like 278 to 280 area for this to really start pushing. We're quite a distance away from that, so we're not really ready for a much bigger bounce yet. In fact, we're a little bit weak compared to the market because of the bad news about their deliveries. But I'll be watching this level very closely to see if Tesla can reclaim 270. When you zoom into the 30 minutes time frame, we're actually very flat right now. We start off with a bigger dump to about 264. Now we're getting bought back up. So see if we could reclaim 270. I do think there's potential in this, especially as we have a double bottom, and this could lead to some upside as time goes on. So I find it best to be very, very patient. If we could hold above 270, I think that this gap over here is going to get filled. So we actually gapped down on the daily, for example. So if you look at like our overall daily charts, we are going to be looking to see if we can get back up to these highs. We closed all the way up here, and now we're going to be looking to see if we can revisit the highs. So there's potential for a bigger bounce on Tesla, but that's going to depend on more factors. But I want to see us at least hold 270 to start this rebound. We do have a double bottom setup, but keep in mind the problem with Tesla right now is there's lots of bad news, a lot of fear being incited by different analysts, by the media because of their sales. So keep that in mind. That's what's going on. Tesla's not the strongest of plays, but there is some potential for a bounce if this double bottom holds. So keep that in mind. Why else may Tesla bounce? Because look at the overall market. It's bouncing, and this is helping Tesla to some extent. So if you look at SPY, notice this pattern. Basically, what happens is we have a tendency of trading within this range. SPY comes down to about this 573 area, then it bounces, comes down, bounces, comes down, bounces, comes down. Now it's bouncing again. So we want to see if we could break past 580. If we break past that, we could see an attempt to get back up to 585, a little bit under 585. I would say the 584s just to be safe. We could be making a move back up there if we break 580. So there's going to be potential if we can break that resistance. If we lose 572, I will turn back to bearish. Even like a break of 575 is not the best, but I don't really lean in that direction. I think that the market is setting itself up for a nice rebound. I think we may attempt to get back up to yesterday's highs if we could break past 580. So I think we try to push a little bit higher, look for a test of 580, and we'll see if we could break that. So far, the market is showing resilience. On the QQQ, it's looking resilient. We never lost this low. We're actually still holding the low at 491. We're looking at resistance at 499. So if we break that, we're looking for a bigger push for the low 500s. So give this some time, especially as time develops. I think we could be pushing back up to 499 as time goes on to fill that gap. But we need to see us break past 496. For the IWM Russell 2000, we're also holding support here, forming a double bottom. I want to see if we could break past 208 to get back up to the 210s. There is some potential for this. Notice we dipped only to get bought back up, so we're only down 0.4%. ES is looking promising. We came exactly to my targets of 57.50. I said to watch and see if we get a bounce right there. That's exactly where we bounced. ES is looking resilient. As long as we don't end up losing like 5,800, I think we do favor a push back up to about 58.40 plus. So it's looking pretty good. NQ is looking pretty good. As long as we don't end up losing like 20,200, we could be favoring a push for about 20,500 and eventually back up towards these imbalances. So I see potential in this as well. There's a range here, but we could try to push a bit higher as this breaks. On Bitcoin, we're on an uptrend right now, looking quite good. I like the fact that we're holding this yellow trend line. So if you actually zoom out of the chart, we're holding this yellow trend line, which is a good sign. We do look a little bit weaker on the 4 hours, so we could come down towards the 50 EMA before it tries to rebound like that. But it's looking good so far. On Nvda, what is good about this is the fact that we're making a higher low. As long as this low could hold at 112, as long as we don't end up losing this low from yesterday, we could be looking for an attempt to push higher to get back up to like 115 to 117. So there's potential in this. Apple's also rebounding this morning. We have to see if we could break past resistance. We did expect this move yesterday. We want to see this reclaim the trend line to start continuing the uptrend for the 140s. So we'll see how it goes. Please keep that in mind. For a coin, we have a nice double bottom looking more bullish. Break 225, then we're looking for 230 plus. On Amazon, we're kind of flat here, but I do want to mention that what is good about Amazon is the fact that we're holding above 202. So this could be another inverse head and shoulders like pattern. We need to see it reclaim 207 to bounce. There's some potential for it as long as it holds above 202. For Meta, okay, Meta is also forming like an inverse head and shoulders. We want to see if we could hold above 640. If that holds, this will also attempt some kind of rebound move. So I think that it's looking quite probable, at least so far. So that is looking quite good in my personal opinion. I also think that I think that there's going to be more volume coming into like Microsoft. If we could break past 400, looking quite good. We're actually kind of flat. We're actually very close to being green. So this is looking resilient. Break 400, we're going to be looking for an attempt to get back up to 405. Google could be looking for a test of 177. If that breaks, we're going to be looking for a bigger move up. So far, so good. I also want to mention that on the VIX, sorry, the VIX is right here. We're flat, but here's the thing. We have a gap down here, right? We have this wick and then there's a gap down here. So typically what happens is you do come back down, which suggests that the market may try to push more so the buyers have a bigger edge. So even if the market does attempt to push a bit more, I just want to say that we want to see if Tesla could hold the low right here. We need to see this hold right here at 264. If that could hold, we're going to have some potential. So we'll see how it goes. Anyways, that is it for my video. I thank you all so much for listening. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Um, Tesla has a double bottom setup. As long as that low could hold, we could attempt a rebound. But if we fail at 262, though, I will turn a little bit more bearish. We're going to be looking for us to lose 260. That's not going to be a good sign. So for now, we have a double bottom setup. We could attempt a rebound, but we'll see just to be safe. The market's trying to bounce, so we'll give this the time it needs. And I'll see you guys very soon in the next one. Thank you for listening, and peace out.